It's time for nerdy news. What's up, my little nerdlings? I just felt like playing that. I really like that graphic. I really do. Or that audio, graphic, audio, whatever. You knew what I meant, right? You like it. You like it. All right, guys, I'm excited. We have a big show today. Apparently, I'm not streaming on Instagram at the moment. They're having a problem with it. That's fine. I really don't care. We're on Twitter and we're on YouTube. I'm your host, Dani Sanssouci, licensed cosmetologist and registered super nerd. This is my channel, Comics and Cosmetics, and you are currently watching Nerdy News Live. So please do me a huge, huge solid and sacrifice that like and subscribe button to our algorithm overlords. And do make sure that you have our notification bell rung so you get notified whenever I'm back with more nerdy news and nerdy content. I got some announcements. First of all, I'm going to be going on hiatus as of this Friday, April 5th. I know. I'm sorry. But I am having surgery on my left knee. It's the first in a series of surgeries. I have been needing it for many, many years now. There's a lot of stuff that's not right with it. That's the reason why I've been getting up close and personal with my more aids of the mobility aids. And also why this face has filled out more. What wrinkles? I don't know. Fat fills them in. So looking at the silver lining of things. So there's that. I will be on Sill's show on Thursday. It will simulcast on this channel as well, but I'll probably be out for a couple of weeks, depending on how I feel. You guys know I will be bored out of my mind. I will be on the socials, I'm sure. You wild horses couldn't drag me away from that addiction, but there won't be content for a little bit. Sorry. But I do have some great Tiny Tuesday stuff for you, and I have a really awesome friend with me as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you my buddy Julez. What's up, Julez?
Hey, Dani. Thanks for the
What's
invite. Happy to be
up?
on.
I had such a good time with you on Sill's show.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
And we were like, oh my God, there's another chick who's not a vapid idiot who's
Right.
super into this nerdy stuff. This
And
is
it's not just in it for the allegedly hot guys,
What? There's hot guys.
apparently.
I love that. I just love that. And I always use it at the wrong time. So or I miss it altogether. Let's say hello to the chat. We have Gary. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Thanks for joining us. You are first in line. I'm so proud of you. If I had gifts, if I had door prizes, I would give away door prizes. I don't think I really have anything super cool, other than I can give you some applause. How about even better? Yub Nub. I give you some Yub Nub. I love Yub Nub. The original Ewok celebration music. You know, after a special edition, they ditched that on us. So, Spencer, what's up, Spencer? No, you're right on time. We just started like 3-4 minutes ago. So, what's up, Spencer? You're number 2. Yes, Yub Nub is the best, and Yub Nub actually means the best. So, it's the best. All right, guys, we got some hot, juicy goss in the nerd world. So let's pitter patter and get right at her. First and foremost, I know it sounds crazy. Dare we believe it? But the Scarlet Witch's solo project is due to start filming this November.
I was shocked to hear that news.
I was really shocked as well. I had to double, triple, hello, General Kenobi. I have to do that every time. I had to confirm this because it came out yesterday and yesterday is like the worst day in the world for nerdy journalists,
Oh my god,
period.
yes. Is that what it came out yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And
So I definitely did some digging to make sure that, it was for sure and not April Fools, because there were some things yesterday. I mean, they were pretty obvious though, like the whole fight between Matt Reeves and James Gunn, saying that Matt Reeves is fired or Robert Pattinson and James Gunn totally getting into a fight on Threads or something. None of that was true either.
oh lord.
Yeah, Robert
Luckily, I
Pattinson.
spent most of my day working yesterday, so I was not on the socials, as you call them, until very late at night. So the only thing that I saw was the Wolverine casting rumors with Jesus
Taron
Christ.
Egerton.
Yes, how am I drawing a blank? Yes, on him, which I wish was not a rumor, but
Oh, I know, and he's so fine. But he years ago, I'd say 2 or so years ago, Taron was in talks to be cast in a role.
right.
Avi, what am I saying? Words are hard. He was in talks to join the MCU. So
But we don't know what
someone,
role, right?
yeah, someone was like, "Oh, is it Cyclops?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I want to be able to show my face. I want to be able to emote, like use
Yes.
my eyebrows and stuff." So then they started kicking around that he could be the new Wolverine, but we're also hearing Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know if I'd really see Daniel
That's
Radcliffe like.
just like a horrible fan cast. I'm sorry. Like all because he's short doesn't mean he can play Wolverine. Like I don't see him putting on the massive amount of
So
muscle required.
there's this show called Miracle Workers, and in the last season, like in the last episode of the last season, he goes like feral, and you see him like jump like this, and he had like 3 spoons between his fingers in each hands, and his hair looked like Wolverine. I was
Okay,
like, I feel like they're trying to tell us something.
right.
But he is Patch, one of the Wolverine variants in Deadpool 3. So
Oh,
that's happening. But I don't see him being comfortable as a regular in this franchise, as someone who grew up attached to a
yeah, I
franchise.
agree. Yeah, I don't think he wants to. I mean, I think he said he made so much money off of Harry Potter that he
He
just
never
wants
has
to do
to
like
work
little
again.
indie projects, right? And just
Yeah.
live his life doing that.
He
So,
never has to work again. His parents were very good with his money. They were smart with it. He's one of the very few kids that had good parents
right.
in the industry and
Mhm.
looked out for him.
Maybe they do
So,
things differently over there in the UK. Different law.
uh, they do a few things different, but Disney is buying up all the studios over there, so nobody else
Oh,
can film.
yeah, I saw something about that. It's insane.
Yeah,
And we talked
it's
about this during the stream with Sil, right?
mhm,
Disney is the
mhm.
Scientology of Hollywood, just super cult.
It in they've become like their own little government, their own, um, like a mafia, you don't
Mhm.
mess with them. Like, I told my friend that used to work for him that my merch store got shut down the morning after that story,
Oh
and
man.
he goes, and look, see, here's the shirt. I'm gonna wear it to every stream.
Oh my god,
Um,
that's awesome.
he's thank you. It's my like MAGA Marvel, make Marvel great again. Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, I told him about it. He's like, the mouse knows, the mouse sees all.
Walt Disney is rolling in his grave, and
I
it
don't
hurts
know.
my soul.
Walt was pretty racist.
You think so?
So,
I mean,
uh,
sign of the times, right? I guess.
I guess
Unfortunately.
so. But he's he's one of the people from my neck of the woods that I'm like, we don't really know him. Like, he said some really anti-Semitic stuff, and I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Who
I
knows
mean,
if it's really true or not?
he was German, and it was like the early 20th century. Yeah. So
I think I was born in the 20th century.
yeah, we both were. We definitely were. We made the cusp. Kids were born in the 21st century. I feel sorry for them. Sorry, kids.
Yeah.
Life's hard. It's getting harder.
Oh, look at this. Scarlet Witch solo project, Mephisto.
Oh yeah, let's go
So,
back to that. We completely lost track.
yeah, it's okay. That's what people come here for. We get off in the weeds. So, yes, they are actually doing a Scarlet Witch solo project. Elizabeth Olsen is attached.
You confirm.
It's yes, it's real. It's confirmed. It's legit. They start filming in November. They still don't have a release date.
Who's the director?
I don't know. I don't know.
So, quick
All I was
question: do the people still want this?
that's exactly what I was going to ask. Do we need this? Is this something we really, really want, really need? Now, on one hand, WandaVision is one of the top great Marvel shows that actually came out on Disney Plus.
It's not a
Um,
really. This doesn't really say much, but
I
I will
know,
agree.
but
I
you
agree.
know what I'm
I
saying.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, WandaVision was great. My daughter watches it like every couple of months. So I know it by heart now. But WandaVision was great. I am a Sam Raimi fan because I was a teenager in the 90s. So I did enjoy Multiverse of Madness. Did I love it? No. I liked it, but I didn't think it was like, oh my God, this is great. Because there wasn't a whole lot of multiversal madness in the Multiverse of Madness. There was like
Two or
two
three
different,
multiverse, two universes. I don't know.
yeah,
I,
two,
I
three, I don't know.
honestly, I think that was the last movie I saw in the theater. Memory of a
Really?
Hawk. Yeah, and it was cringe from like the opening sequence.
See, and that's Sam Raimi.
I didn't enjoy it. It's very
Yeah.
campy, very corny, and I just feel like he's. I mean, personally,
I
I feel like he's just taking comic book movies down a peg, like back to where they were in the 2000s, which is where we
so
want to be.
for I have to say that the Spider-Man movies he did in 2002, 2004 were phenomenal, and they were something just amazing, new, fresh, and
At the
exciting
time,
for the time.
right?
Sam Raimi definitely has his style, and that's why I was saying I'm a fan of Sam Raimi work. So I was entertained by Multiverse of Madness, but it wasn't as good as it could have been, and I
Yeah.
definitely don't think it was as good as Sam Raimi could have made it. I think the studio definitely got involved too much. But that being said, I have gone on record to say before, if you are not a fan of Sam Raimi work, you are not going to like this movie.
I enjoyed his Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually tried watching it. It was on TV, so I was like, "Oh, Spider-Man! I haven't seen this in years. Let me put it on." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Wow, I don't remember it being this campy." And it was just like, "Oh man,
Oh,
this is."
I love it. And my son, he's 22 now, but he was a baby when those came out, and he became immediately obsessed with the
Mhm.
Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Man is so
Like,
easy to love.
Spider-Man,
It's hard to mess it up.
it just it's like a nostalgia thing for me now. Like when I watch the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, I'm like, oh, little baby Kessawer. It just makes me think of my kid.
Of course.
But the Multiverse of Madness wasn't the worst Marvel movie that came out in the last couple of years. WandaVision has repeatedly done well. People still stream it.
Okay.
So I can see, and I see a lot of people wanting Scarlet Witch.
I
Like,
don't want. I didn't like how it ended. I mean, granted, they made it seem like she died. Whatever
mhm,
shock value was.
mhm,
It could have been done where it had a lot more of an effect.
mhm,
So yeah, I mean, I would like to see her come back, but it's just like with the state of the CBMs right now, is like, do people want this? I just don't
mhm.
know if people are going to watch it.
I think that it might be a good call to do a Scarlet Witch solo project so long as they don't do what they've been doing. So long as they take their time with it and
Well, they're
they
already starting going to film in November.
I
That's
know.
I don't think that means that they took their time at
Yeah.
all. So
Like I
can't
need to
say this.
find out when they got the script. Like how long have they had the script? And it really would not be hard to bang out a good Scarlet Witch script in a reasonably quick amount of time because there's so much extensive source material on
Yeah.
her going batshit crazy
Hmm.
and having a wild story arc. There are so many. I did a breakdown on Scarlet Witch when I first started the channel, it was my second video. I
Okay.
should not have done Scarlet Witch because I spent hours recording because I didn't just do like her origin or this. I did the whole story and that was just stupid because
Okay.
it was way
Yeah.
too much. But I have been waiting for this House of M storyline for so long and they've got all the parts right there. Like it's all right there, all the ingredients, all you need. You just need someone to you need a writing team that is going to use the source material. Like I am so sorry. Was it Don Cheadle or Anthony Mackie? Anthony Mackie was like, "Oh, you don't really have creative freedom with the Marvel
Yeah.
movies
That was
because
Anthony.
you're beholden to the source material." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Prove it!" Like
I
since
mean, every
when?
time Marvel has all the movies Marvel has deviated from the source material. It's like, what are you talking about? And the only people that get hammered for doing that is, the Warner Brothers. Not to go to that pivot to that, but I mean, come on, let's be fair here. And one thing with Scarlet Witch is it's such a fantastical film, but I want to see it done in a more mature tone. Like Scarlet Witch has so much emotion. She's in pain, she's in despair and anguish, like all these negative emotions.
Absolutely.
I want to see the darkness, and I don't
So
feel like that's been captured yet.
I actually like I did the Scarlet Witch breakdown was Wonder Man. And if you guys aren't familiar with that dynamic, first of all, don't tell your parents about the story.
Mhm.
You're probably going to need to imbibe some mellow beforehand because it gets crazy with Scarlet Witch and Wonder Man. Like I went more into it in my Wonder Man breakdown, but Scarlet Witch goes so far off the deep end. She actually um abuses Wonder Man in front of US Agent, Agatha Harkness, and Wasp. Like she goes downtown against his will in front of all these people. Like first she torments him, like haven't you always wanted me, Simon? And then scratches like digs her nails into his chest. I don't know why someone's trying to break into my studio right now, but it's happening. Um Jules, would you mind talking to everyone for 2 seconds? Because I seem
Yeah,
to
sure,
have an
no
urgent
problem.
situation with my daughter.
Absolutely.
Be right back.
Yeah, so I've never been on a podcast by myself before, so bear with me here, folks. But in talking about what Dani was saying with the Scarlet Witch, I'll let her come back and finish that story. But what the trajectory she's going, I don't think that that's a family friendly enough story for Disney to put on screen. So I think it's safe to say we won't be seeing Scarlet Witch going down on anyone anytime soon um, on screen. We haven't even had a Wonder Man being cast yet, so. Though would be super cool. They do need to expand that whole superhero universe. Let's see some more castings going on there at Marvel. There's so much talk going on with the whole DEI situation. People just want some more stories, more mature tones. Um, so yeah. Um, Yeah, Spencer, I think you said Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man was your favorite Spider-Man movie. Same here. I actually do like that. I don't know. I tend to like origin stories. People tend to not like them too much. I thought it was more fun than Spider-Man 2, which was great in its own right. And then, we all know what happened there with Spider-Man 3. Spencer, you mentioned that the Scarlet Witch didn't die. She probably just went to hell. Oh, there's Dani.
Hello, I'm so sorry.
Crisis
Uh,
averted? Maybe?
Sorta. I'm trying to get my boyfriend into hi-fi, tag team parenting. Hi, Andrew. Hello. I'm so sorry, guys. All right. So, what were you talking about? You were talking about how.
You were talking about how an explicit scene of Scarlet
Oh
Witch taking
yes,
advantage of Wonder Man, and I just went on to say
yes.
that it's probably safe to assume that that's not going to be on screen anytime
No,
soon.
but that is an excellent example of how dark
Right.
in the maturity level, you know, how dark Scarlet Witch really goes. Like, she went off the deep end after her kids disappeared and Vision died. She teamed up with her dad, Magneto, and the Brotherhood of Mutants, and kidnaps all these people in the West Coast Avengers mansion, puts a paralyzing spell on them, digs her nails into Wonder Man's impervious chest and claws him, and then in front of everybody. Like,
So was everybody else possessed to not do anything also? So I mean, just standing there.
yeah, they were all frozen.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Frozen, paralyzed, forced to watch. And obviously this was extremely traumatizing for Wonder Man. And then he's like, well, it wasn't really her.
One thing that I brought up while you were gone too was the whole conversation right now, the whole DEI and the wokeness of Disney taking over and blah 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 and their hidden agendas, conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. But wouldn't a Scarlet Witch movie right now just be somewhat tone deaf? I mean, I don't know, when is this planning on going out? Like, what are their other films that they have on their slate?
They really only have like Deadpool 3 is coming out right now.
Right.
And
this movie, I'm assuming Scarlet Witch wouldn't come out till like 2026.
No, it would probably be like 2025. Check your text messages now, please. Thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
Men and phones. So
2025, what do they have coming on before or around that time with Scarlet Witch? Is there going to be more of a
Fantastic Four?
Okay, Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, and the next Spider-Man movie should be coming out in 26 as well. Okay. They've got a few things coming out in the next couple of years, but they're spacing them out. So I'm wondering, because Feige himself has said, well, we're going to make some changes. We're going to make some changes and we're going to slow things down. We're going to worry more about quality instead of quantity, etc. So when I hear that they are doing this solo project, it's like, okay, where does that fit in with your new plan? Like, where does that fit?
It makes me wonder if this ties into any of those films, like maybe Fantastic Four, if that comes out right before it or something, just to kind of set this one up.
I think it might, because
especially since they wrote the script so quickly, seemingly.
This could have been written when Multiverse Madness was written.
Right.
Who knows when this could have been written? I mean, they can hold scripts forever. In fact, last January, February, right before the writer's strike, I was out in Burbank and I heard that the studios were stockpiling scripts and buying as many as they could to tide them over. So who knows what they have piled up somewhere, it could be. And people have wanted an actual solo Scarlet Witch film for a long time. I mean,
they should have done that before doing the Marvels, which literally no one asked for. And the Marvels TV show.
They should have done that and a Black Widow movie. They should have done a Black Widow movie like 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's silly that they took so long, and then they were like, oh, okay, well, here you go. It's just like they just threw it out there. I'm like,
oh, you guys been asking for this, so here you go, enjoy.
Like, I tell Dave, I said, it's kind of like when you're asking your parents for something and you keep asking. They're like, okay, fine, but it's going to be on my terms.
Right, exactly. Unless like they ran out of things to do and they were just like, we just need like a good, decent little hit. Let's just give them Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow in her own film.
Yeah.
Like after her whole the excitement around her character died down years before, that movie even came out. So that was the time.
Right after that, they screwed her on the streaming.
Yeah, she had to sue them.
Money. So she sued him. Like, good for you. Good for you taking on the mouse and winning.
She won. Yeah. That was good for her.
So,
right before you came back, I was going to say Spencer was talking about where they might go with this film, just talking about the story a little bit. She doesn't die, but they'll probably have her going to hell or something similar to it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's absolutely right. Because that has happened. Mephisto I don't know if kidnap is exactly the word, but he kind of has her under his thrall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Agatha Harkness that,
Saves her.
yeah,
Okay.
so to speak, like brings her back and then really officially takes her under her wing at that point. But Wanda went really crazy in the comics for a couple of times, really. She lost it a few times. But Wanda, she really went off the deep end when her kids in Vision died. And can you blame her? I mean, of course you're going to go nuts. And then you find out, oh, your kids weren't
They weren't even.
real.
Yeah.
They were shards of
Fabricated.
Mephisto's soul. So I can see her actually going to hell and like, all right,
Getting
give
her
me my
revenge.
kids.
Right.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool. I would watch it if they did that.
I mean,
Will they?
Mephisto kind of looks a little bit devilish. They probably won't get that China release. We saw what happened with The Rock and Black Adam. They were really banking on China to get that box office over like the $500 million mark. Just didn't happen.
Mhm.
But knowing Disney, they'll dumb it down in a way like they won't give him horns and they'll just make him look a little bit more human or something stupid.
Well, I know Sacha Baron Cohen is Mephisto. Um, if I'm wrong, I will be really surprised. I mean, I've been wrong before, but it's been all over. Like
Right.
Sacha Baron Cohen, and I think he would be absolutely perfect as Mephisto, and
Yeah.
just put him in like the Damnation run Mephisto, like the red suit with the tie and everything.
Yeah.
I think that would just be absolutely perfect, and then have him and the Scarlet Witch like fight over her wanting her kids back or teaming up to get her. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, part of the problem with the MCU lately is it got too big. And Kevin Feige wasn't able to Kevin Feige every project like he normally does. He delegated and he delegated it out to people who really didn't give two shits and didn't give it the attention that he would have. So
Yeah.
now he's got to dial back and take over those projects again.
Yeah. I feel like that's
So,
more of a problem with Disney than it is getting too big as a brand. They could have, I mean, sure, they got big. They were cranking out, what, 3 or 4 movies a year. But Feige was still, overseeing them as much as he could. But if they
mhm,
had people that actually cared about the source material instead of just caring about, make this entertaining for children, I feel like we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
right.
If they would have continued their trajectory, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But now that they're crumbling, the entire
Mhm.
comic book movie brand and like industry is crumbling, as
It's
well.
a bubble.
Yeah,
It's
they
a
they were the
bubble. It's gonna
biggest
burst.
one, and when the biggest one, is screws up, like all right, people are going to get tired.
Yep, that's what happens. Bye, Victoria Alonso. You had that coming, heifer. Do not care for X-Men feels sexist. Like, okay, it's X-Men as in human, and you're insane.
Yeah, I didn't
anyone
see that one. That
anyone who would say the X-Men are sexist is just flat insane. Because just
they
not
just,
even.
how about you just don't understand the
Yeah.
character?
How about you quit running your mouth about stuff you don't know, sis? How about
Yeah.
that?
Oh, Jesus.
So, speaking of X-Men, apparently at the end of X-Men 97, the team's going to be rocking new uniforms.
I
I have
did see that. Yep.
I have no idea what they're going to look like,
Now, did
but
this come out yesterday? Was that an April Fool's thing?
no. No.
Okay.
I think
I mean,
I
I'm not surprised
got
by
this a
this
couple days
news,
ago.
because they did show a glimpse of Storm wearing her black outfit.
Mhm.
So I think
Her
that was the
original.
indicator right there that maybe they're going to be switching that. And it's been a long time, right? Like
Mhm.
the original show was what, 5 seasons, which would have equated to at least
Mhm.
2-3 years, if not 5 years of their lives. Um,
Mhm.
you think they're going to be wearing the same outfit for that long?
I mean, the pleather and vinyl gets stinky if you
Yeah.
don't take care of it.
They didn't have performance fabrics like that in the 90s.
No.
I don't
No,
think we had Under Armour.
the spandex back then was quite absorbent and held on to things like smell.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to need a few things, take things to the dry cleaners, and
I mean,
they need something else to wear.
yeah, I mean, I personally feel like Cyclops's suit in the X-Men show is my favorite Cyclops costume. Everyone and
Mhm.
Wolverine, of course, that's probably his best costume. But I'm interested to see what they do. I just like seeing Cyclops's hair just blowing in the wind and not with like a bald cap thingy looking over him. Um, yeah, but I
It
agree with Spencer. You know, the clip for tomorrow does look
mhm.
awesome.
It does. Like, I just watched it right before we jumped on the stream because I've been a flibberty gibbet all day, like running around trying to get stuff done. And I
Yeah.
finally sat down. I was like, oh, Jules messaged me. Like, oh, it's a clip. Hot dog. I guess I didn't check my press kit because normally I get that stuff and then I can send it out.
Busy
But
days
I
for you
did
today,
not.
Danny.
I know I'm just messing up left and right here. But it
And
does
there
look
were
good.
rumors. Yeah, there were rumors about Jubilee being sucked into an 8-bit 90s type video game. So it sounds
Mhm.
like those were
It's gonna be
correct.
so fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. I didn't think that was something that I would really enjoy, but I loved that clip. I was like, "Oh, gotta send this to Danny. We're gonna be talking about this today."
Spencer has a good question. Are we gonna
Mhm.
get the Grant Morrison X-Men uniforms, or do you think they're gonna give us a totally new design?
I saw one that had everybody was saying that they didn't want this particular one. I don't know if it was a Grant Morrison one. It was one where everybody was basically just wearing all black, a la Bryan Singer X-Men. So
Oh,
we definitely don't want that, and I
no,
don't
we
think
don't
they would
want
go in
that.
that direction. The 90s are too colorful for that.
Right, and I'm trying to see if I have this comic right here next to me, and I probably don't. I've probably finally put it away. It was one of my old X-Men comics from '84. But I think maybe we're gonna get like a flashback and see Storm in her original black that come on, that costume was dope.
It was
It
really
was
cool.
so goddess like I just and the thigh high boots, you can never go wrong with a pair of thigh high boots, especially with legs like Storm.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
she's giving goddess in that uniform and I'm here for it. Let's have it. I hope they don't do some brand new design. They've been pretty faithful to the source material so
Mhm.
far, especially in the looks department. Like they've straight up given us covers.
Yeah,
Like the Savage Land one,
I
I was
agree.
squealing. I was
I
like,
highly
it's
doubt we'll get something completely original. It'll be something
yeah,
straight out of the comics. We just don't know
yeah,
which one yet.
right. And I like being surprised. It's nice. It's nice not knowing every little thing
What
that's
if
going
it's a
to
subtle
happen.
change? Like, what if they're just getting rid of like Cyclops and Wolverine's and Gambit's underpants, right? Like they still have the underpants over the pants.
But how are my where what's going to draw my eye to their crotch if they do that?
Cyclops does still have that yellow belt, so
Did you see Gambit's new voice actor in his crop
yeah.
top?
Where did he get that crop top? He must
T
have
Public. I
been.
posted the link. I'll find it again, but you can buy it off T Public. You'll probably have to cut the sleeves in the mid, but and I hate promoting T Public since they, deleted my story at the behests of the mouse, but you can buy it and I'll send that out on my Twix when we're done.
I'm sure the folks would love it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of my friends really wanted it and I found it and I was like, "Hey, look at this." So, very, 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 very cool.
Will the X
Um,
bring back crop tops? How many people are going to be wearing that same outfit for Halloween?
oh yeah, that's gonna be all of Halloween. It's Gambit. It's gonna be Gambit and Magneto and Rogue.
Yeah, everybody loves Rogue.
Oh, how
First of
can
all,
you
everybody was complaining that they didn't make her sexy enough, like in the original series. Like, ain't nobody crying about that shit now. Sorry, excuse my language.
nobody
Nobody's
cares.
crying about
The show is good. It's good quality. And anyone who's going to complain about the animation of X-Men 97 clearly was not a fan of X-Men the animated
that.
series because it matches not only well, but the animation's actually better.
It's better.
It's cleaner.
I even had to admit that it was better, and I love the original series. I'm rewatching
Oh,
it right now.
that first series is extremely close to my heart and soul.
Yeah.
Extremely close. And I mean, you have to admit, this was the 90s. It was all hand drawn. You're going to have some jumpiness here and there. We're able to clean it up now. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that the first one makes it worse, or we're saying it wasn't good enough. We're just saying we have the technology. We can build it faster, better. We can $6 million man this shit. Let us have it.
Yeah. I'm all
Don't
for
see
it.
them.
Give me 20
Now,
episode seasons.
yes. It's unfortunate that the showrunner and the writer
Yeah, got the boot.
had to do free porn. Like,
damn you, OnlyFans.
come on, dude. You're doing a cartoon.
Like, you must have known, right?
Yeah,
It's
you
so
had to have
new.
known, because it wasn't just on his freaking free, unrestricted OnlyFans. He did stuff on his Instagram too. Like, come
Oh,
on.
no, that's
You're
stupid.
it is stupid.
So dumb.
Like, I don't care who you love and sleep with. I don't care what you do for kicks. I don't need to know about it.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
look at the
need to be.
privacy. Back in the day,
Yeah.
everybody just wanted to be unique and everybody minded their own business. Now everybody like doesn't really want to be unique, but they kind of do, but they also want to fit in, but stand out at the same time.
They're
And
different just like everybody else.
they want everyone to be all up in their business because it's all about engagement farming and they all want to be
It
everyone.
is the social media thing.
Yep.
I liken it to, my grandma always said, don't ever worry about things that aren't going on outside your front door.
Mm-hmm.
With social media, we're inside everyone's front door. And so people get a sense of entitlement to
Yep.
knowing what's going on. We've blurred that line. And then you have situations like this one where Bo DeMayo has a free porn, unrestricted porn site on OnlyFans, which is exactly what it was, and putting stuff on Instagram. And he's creating a cartoon show for
He's the
Disney Plus.
showrunner
Like,
of all. You couldn't get a better
it,
title than that. You're the showrunner.
it's not like some key grip that no one's
Yeah.
gonna see his name in the credits. He's the head honcho. Dude, it's a cartoon on Disney Plus. You can't tell me that it's not geared towards children. That is a show for children, and then you're off here doing this stuff. That's not cool. That's not. At least put a lock on it.
And then you were being an asshole on set or whatever in the
Mhm.
animation room in the
Yep.
studio, and like no one's gonna come to your defense. Maybe if people
No.
actually liked you, they would have been like, "Hey, can you just take this down? Issue an apology. We'll try
Yeah.
to clean it up."
Or even caught it and been like, "Hey, dude, can I talk to you for a second?
Right.
You really need to do something about that, like, right now before anyone else catches on."
Right.
And thanks, man. Thanks. Good looking out.
Nobody knew
No,
who Bo DeMayo was until the
until
OnlyFans
this.
story broke. Like, I didn't
Yep.
know who the showrunner was. I honestly thought they brought back the same crew from the original series, and no, that wasn't the case. They took some liberties there.
Yeah. And it sucks because he's done so well
Such a
with
good
this
job.
season. He's
My
done
God.
so well. Like, you not only screwed yourself, pal, but you screwed all of us. I
Yeah.
hope you're happy.
Mm-hmm. I just hope
Because
they're able to pick up the pieces for season 3.
oh God. Yeah, because this, what always happens, we get something good, and then that person leaves the project. I'm like, well, guess we're going with option number 2. And we're like,
Daredevil, anyone?
but then there's the DCU.
Oh boy. All right. Go from
Okay,
toxic to
so
even more toxic.
this is killing me. If Lynda Carter, who is the nicest person in the world, if Lynda Carter is calling you out, then you've done something wrong. So DC, James Gunn, his team has no plans to add Wonder Woman to the DCU at this time. So the first, I don't know what they say, 3 phases, no Wonder Woman.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. Now, they do have the Themyscira show, which is based on Wonder Woman Historia. And I'm kicking myself because I didn't bring the comic book down because it's such a good comic book. This is an amazing comic book, and I really highly recommend everybody read it. The artwork, the story, it's interesting, it's gripping. So the Paradise Island Themyscira show that Gunn is developing is based on Wonder Woman Historia. And Wonder Woman Historia is kind of like the book of Genesis in the Bible of Amazons. It's the beginning, and it's honestly the prologue to Wonder Woman's origin.
That sounds really cool.
It's super cool.
So it
Like,
starts off with a war, I guess, when women flee and create Paradise
you know,
Island.
I'm going to send you a link after this, and you're going to read this book and you're going to love it. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So that's what that's supposed to be based on. So if your plan is to do the prologue and then do Diana's origin, that's a good idea. That's never been done before at all. Let's do that. But he still keeps insisting that no, there's no Wonder Woman. We're not doing that right now. Well, why not?
We do know that James Gunn tends to, how does that
Lie.
expression go? Talk to the side and talk out of the side of his mouth a lot, right? Like, yeah, basically lie.
Hold
He'll
on. I
say
think
one
I've got
thing.
a picture for that. I got a, oh, there it is.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yep.
That's him.
Tweeting on the toilet.
You know, giving him the benefit of the doubt, even though I don't like ever doing that for him. Maybe he just wants to keep Wonder Woman's appearance a secret, a surprise for a future film. If they get that far, we don't know.
Yeah. We don't know. All we know is that Spencer, quit letting it sit on the shelf. It's just one book. It's amazing. It's usually on sale. Check it out. It's so good. But the problem we're having is that, you know, he's got all this stuff planned for Superman, and literally every single superhero in the Justice League is in the Superman movie except Batman and Wonder Woman. And that's the holy trinity, not just of DC, but of superheroes. Because remember, they were first.
Yep.
They were absolutely first. So you're telling me you're going to disrespect the first lady of comic book superheroes? Like, for why?
Woman has always been disrespected.
She has. You know, when they asked her to join the Justice Society, they made her the secretary. Like, that's not even a lie.
She can kill like all of them there, and like they want her to be the secretary.
Like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's nice. So Lynda Carter, during an interview, was, you know, asked about the Wonder Woman movie stuff, and she's like, well, they've completely canceled Wonder Woman 3. There's absolutely no plans for it. She did kind of sing Patty Jenkins' praises for a bit, but that was hot garbage. I'm sorry. Wonder Woman 84, hot garbage. It was an insult.
Hurt my heart how bad it was. And sadly for Lynda Carter, like, they were setting her up to have a much bigger role in
Wonder
Woman 3. But Wonder Woman 84 was so freaking bad. Like, it was unapologetically bad. It was just the worst thing you can freaking think of to make as a movie, a superhero movie in this day and age. Like, and that's all on Patty Jenkins. I'm sorry.
Assaulted a man repeatedly.
You were talking about Scarlet Witch doing what she was doing to Wonder Man, and that's not far off of what Wonder Woman was doing to whoever's body that was.
You have some really funny ideas about consent, Patty Jenkins, because that was straight up RAPE.
I knew it was it was going to be bad when Patty basically said it was a love letter to the 80s.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. And when she had to like explain that it was supposed to look like a movie from 1984, like, it's kind of like a joke, man. If you have to explain it, it's not funny.
Then a couple of weeks later or before, we had the Zack Snyder's Justice League came out with the opening sequence of Wonder Woman just being the total badass that she is. So you see these two dichotomies like back to back, and you're just like, wow, like Wonder Woman
What happened?
84. Yeah, what happened? Wonder Woman 84 is just
So
so bad. Like, oh,
what happened was Patty Jenkins did not write the first Wonder Woman
no,
movie.
but
She
she
did
was
not write that.
she got the job, and I'm gonna say this, and people probably won't like it. She got the job because she was a woman. She
Mhm.
was the second choice. She wasn't even the first choice. They just wanted
Yeah.
a woman to helm that film, and Zack Snyder had his fingerprints all over it. It was
Yes.
obvious, and
Yes.
we were much better off because of it. And we saw the drop in
Mhm.
quality when he was out of the picture.
Yeah. When she got her hands on 84, she wrote that script.
Hmm.
She did all of that. And it was just an absolute insult. It wasn't a bad movie, it was a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Just trash. And to have poor Pedro Pascal play some used car salesman
Oh,
and slap the
what a
name
waste of
Maxwell
his
Lord on it.
talent. Jesus
Like
Christ. And Maxwell was
Maxwell,
supposed to be an amazing character. And
he's so
oh,
complex, and he was an incredibly powerful telepath, and you turned him into a guy who had a magic wishing rock. Like, are you out of your mind?
it was like a movie from the 80s. It was just a campy, hot ass mess that no
And
one liked. It was
and
just
then
horrible. It wasn't even fun.
she talks him down with logic and reason. Have you won a lot of arguments on the internet with logic and reason lately? That's not how it
Oh my God.
works,
And
dude.
that just like
No.
it just harks back for me the ending to the original Wonder Woman film, how she didn't want Wonder Woman to
Mhm.
fight Ares. She didn't want to fight. She wanted her to like somehow reason with him, and I don't know what she
That
wanted.
is the
And Zack
most
Snyder literally had to say, no, we need like a full on like battle.
I don't know what it is, and this was something Nicole and I talked about with the She-Hulk show, is that we like She-Hulk and we liked the idea of the She-Hulk show, but it's like they kind of condescended to the nerd girls,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Oh, so there are girls who like comic books too. Well, let's give them a girl comic book show." And there was virtually no action. And we were like, "Wait a minute, we like action. We like people getting punched in the face. Why did you do
Sure do.
this?"
I love violence.
Ah, yeah. Hello. Come on now.
What are we reading these or watching these shows for? Like, hello, I want action. I want explosions. I want hot guys with abs. Give me all of that.
I- you don't have to girl it up for us, okay? If we want that, we'll go watch a rom-com. But we don't want a rom-com. We want a comic book movie. That's
Yeah.
why we're here.
And I don't want a
And
rom-com with superheroes. Maybe as
no,
like a tertiary storyline, but it shouldn't be the focus.
especially not when she's date raping the guy who's
And
her
it lasted
boyfriend
what, like
is
3
it.
days? This man had a job. We don't know if he had like a family or whatever.
Right.
Like,
Like,
and she's
was
in
there an
his
APB
apartment.
put out for him? Like, there's a missing persons report. Did he end up on unsolved mysteries? There's so many questions to this. And Patty Jenkins is just like, it's the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was so aggravated. Like, you cannot tell me any like when they announced that they canceled Wonder Woman 3 and Patty Jenkins, I was like, hallelujah. That woman has no right to be anywhere near a comic book film for the rest of her life. And then now they apparently she was tied to doing a Star Wars film after
Okay,
this as
so
well. And
let
it's just
me.
like,
She was supposed to do Rogue Squadron like
right.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy has this really awesome habit of saying, we're going to do this, this, and this. And then, like, one of them happens
Yep.
and she fires a bunch of people.
Hmm.
So she did that to Patty Jenkins. And now she's like, well, I'm doing Rogue Squadron again. And I don't believe it until I actually hear, Dave Filoni or John Favreau say something, because I don't care if it comes out of Patty Jenkins's mouth. I'm just going to be like, okay.
It's kind of funny. It's like the curse of the Star Wars announcements because the writers
Yeah, it
of
is.
Game
It's
of
a Star.
Thrones also rushed Game of Thrones ending so that they can go and do a Star Wars film, and now they flopped. They ruined the ending of
Dave, you
Game of Thrones
bastards.
and now they're not doing their Star Wars movie anymore. I don't even know if they even doing that Netflix show that they were like so pumped about.
Yes, they are, and
They
it's
still did.
amazing. Three body problem.
Oh,
Hashtag
is
three
that
body
one?
problem. Go watch it. It's amazing. It really is. But I've publicly said that I'll give them 7 seasons. I'm stopping after that because what they did with season 8 at Game of Thrones, it ruined 11 years of my life. So I don't trust them anymore. Fool me once, buttholes. So, I didn't even have on my Wonder Woman shades for this Wonder Woman
Oh my
discussion.
god.
So, they're not easy to see out of, but it's
They don't
okay.
look very
I
easy
don't
to
need
be
to read.
honest.
So Lynda Carter is very upset that this Wonder Woman 3 movie isn't happening. And not just that the Wonder Woman 3 movie isn't happening, that there's no Wonder Woman happening
Hmm.
in the DCU. And she's basically called James Gunn and Peter Safran out and has begged fans to make a lot of noise about it. She said that she was told that there's not a lot of noise
Support.
for it, that
Yeah.
people, there's not a desire for a Wonder Woman 3 movie, so they're not
Mhm.
doing it. So she's like, hey fans, let's make this happen, make a lot of noise, let's make this happen.
I know
And
people like hate Gal Gadot right now, but like she
why do
honestly
people
was
hate Gal Gadot?
kind of like whole Zionist thing. It's like
Oh, well,
it's more.
she's Israeli, of course
I
she's gonna.
know that's the way I look at it too. Like I have my own thoughts, but hey, I mean, she's that's her culture. I don't know.
And
That's
you know
that's her
what
people.
kills me? I'm just gonna say it, and I never talk about this stuff on my shows because I feel like who the hell am I? Nobody cares what I think. But here's what I think: it's none of our damn business. We
I think
don't.
it's
That
that she's vocal about it. I
Yeah.
think that's the
What's happening in other countries? We should not have any control or say about what goes on in other people's countries.
yeah. We
Like
definitely shouldn't.
how
In an ideal world, we wouldn't.
well, it feels very arrogant to me to insert what we feel should be happening in other places. Like our
Hmm.
way of life is not their way of life.
Absolutely.
They have a totally different way they live, different priorities, ethics, everything. We are not Team America World Police.
I was just
We
gonna
are
say
not
that. Yep.
we're not better than anybody.
Right.
We have our own problems.
We
And
have a
as
lot of
I was
problems.
exactly, and as I was raised, and I was raised in the church and with ladies, I don't know why that's important, but I was taught that charity begins at home. And it's kind of like when you're in an airplane and they tell you put your air mask on before you can help anyone else, because if you can't breathe you can't help anybody else.
Hmm.
So why are we worried about solving anyone else's problems when we can't solve our own? We need to fix ourselves before we can get into a relationship with anybody
Yeah,
else.
I don't think you will find any American anywhere that would not agree with that sentiment. I mean, that's where we are as a people right now.
Right.
Unfortunately,
So
those that represent us don't feel the same. But again, that's a lot of politics involved, and
exactly, our government is basically a really poorly scripted reality show right now, and I'm
I'm
out.
just waiting for the debates. Entertain me.
Yeah,
Are you not
exactly.
entertained? That's all
So saying for people to be so upset with,
her.
the only other Wonder Woman we've ever really gotten.
And she was amazing. I mean, like
She was
she was
absolutely,
great.
except for the fact that she has brown eyes and not blue.
Which I'm fine with that. If she's like
Right.
Greek
I
or
was
whatever,
okay
just
with
let
that.
her have darker features. So that's not that big of a
Yeah,
deal.
she's supposed to be Greek.
Yeah.
Come on.
So like whatever. She looks amazing as Wonder Woman. She brings
She
that
did.
ferocity that but she's also like kind-hearted. Like she has that duality that Wonder Woman really exudes, and it's
Yes.
perfect. So am I ready to see another Wonder Woman? Probably not. I kind of think it's too soon because Gal Gadot is still my Wonder Woman. Um, Lynda Carter, obviously, I would should have played her mom, but I believe they had scheduling conflicts that didn't happen. But
Yeah, that seemed like a no-brainer to have
uh-huh.
Lynda Carter as Hippolyta. It
Yeah, that's
really
what was
did.
going to happen, but she couldn't make it for whatever. I think they had some scheduling conflicts.
And yet, well, no, she could still, she has a horse ranch. Like she totally could have done all that stuff on the
Yeah,
horses.
she's in great shape still.
Yeah. Hell
But
yeah.
either
I'd
way,
love
I
to
mean,
hear
I do
from her.
think there's a two-part to this whole Lynda Carter anger or whatever. I mean, let's be honest, it's one less of a paycheck.
Mhm.
B, she definitely does love Wonder Woman, and we do need, if all these other characters are gonna be on screen, then there's no reason why Wonder Woman does not get the same kind of love. There's no reason that other female superheroes made it to the big screen before her, like Black Widow and Scarlet Witch and
Right.
like that's insane. Like no one
Yeah.
even knew who the hell they were. They're not mainstream, but here it is, Wonder Woman, the most mainstream female character in American mythology history, and she's always put on the back burner. Like it's
We had to wait 75 years
yeah.
for a Wonder Woman movie where
Mhm.
Superman and Batman
Mm,
got them within the
yeah.
first 5 years
Yes.
they existed.
Yep.
Like, that's insane.
Yep.
It's just crazy talk. But I can see why she's upset, because you're right. It was a paycheck. That is her job. She is an actress. Being in movies is what pays her bills, partly. And two, she has a very close relationship with that
Mhm.
character.
Absolutely.
That character made her who she is today, and she is still recognized as Wonder Woman. So, of course, she's going to feel precious about it. And
Yeah.
I don't fault her for that whatsoever. I adore you, Lynda Carter. Please don't
Yeah.
unfollow me from Twitter.
I grew up
But
watching Lynda Carter as Wonder Woman because my mom would watch it on the Spanish channels. I watched it dubbed in Spanish.
did you know Lynda Carter is
It's part
Mexican?
Mexican. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I
And
was like,
growing up in
she's
the
one of
90s and
us.
in the early 2000s, we had a lot of shows that did not care to be politically correct, and there was a show called Race-O-Rama on VH1. It was like a special, probably like a 2-hour special or like a mini series, and they would basically go through all the beautiful actors and actresses of Hollywood and like break down their genetic makeup or their racial makeup or whatever. And that's how I learned all the mixes that was Lynda Carter, and I think one of her grandparents or something was like Mexican. So she's
That's insane.
extremely like mixed.
Yeah. My grandma is Mexican, and we didn't know.
Right. No one knows.
We had no idea my grandma was Mexican.
Right.
Like,
Family secret.
I guess so. Like, it was super weird. We thought we were French. Nope.
Yeah. Nope.
But yeah, I love Lynda Carter, and I think it's precious that she's making the stand. Good for her.
Yeah.
Call them out, but I just can't defend Patty Jenkins.
No.
That's where you lose
Patty
me.
Jenkins is not the answer, but do we believe that Gunn will do Wonder Woman justice?
I don't know. See, here's the thing, and I like him as a creative for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, but Wonder Woman doesn't have the sense of humor that.
He can't tell his dirty jokes with Wonder Woman.
No, you can't. She doesn't even like the word crap because it means excrement, and she thinks that's disgusting.
I don't even think she has a sarcastic bone in her body.
No, she can't. She doesn't quite understand it
Yeah. He's
because
from
it's
the
a form
ancient
of
time,
falsehood.
and they didn't talk like that back then.
Right. I just, if they do when they do a Wonder Woman at some point, because if they don't, then just burn it to the ground. I'm just
They
saying.
have to. I mean,
Yeah.
you have
But when they do a Wonder Woman project, I really hope that they get someone else to pen and direct that film, because it really does require someone who can understand a more serious, dramatic, emotional take on it, because that's what she is.
Mhm.
So we'll
Yeah,
just
because
have
she
to
lived
see.
forever basically, so she's seen a lot, she's went through a lot, so she's like a numb person, you know?
Exactly.
And at the same time, just going back to, the lack of support for the Wonder Woman movie under James Gunn, we
Mhm.
don't know where Warner Brothers is gonna be in 2, 3 years. They might get
That's
bought,
true.
they're gonna be acquired. That's been the rumor on the street since the Discovery acquisition. This is not a long-term acquisition. Someone else is gonna come in and take it, and whether Gunn's universe survives or not is, yet to be seen. Again, we don't
And
even know what kind of
yes.
numbers his Superman movie is gonna make. People aren't expecting it to make anywhere near $1 billion, even with the inflation today.
And if Superman does not do well, that's it for the DCU.
Yeah.
That will destroy it. So we really, I'm not really getting myself emotionally attached
Exactly.
to much of what he's doing right
And
now
that's what I'm saying.
because
I understand what Lynda Carter wants us to do, but
Mhm.
I think a lot of us fans right now are just waiting to see what happens before we start demanding
Yes.
stuff.
Yes,
Because we're
before
not
we
wasting our energy again.
no, we've been there.
Yeah,
I've been
no,
there,
we're not doing
and we spent 4 years to get Snyder's cut, and we knew that that was gonna be a one and done. Well, some of us did.
that.
Some of us did.
Yeah,
Some of you out there have gone so far off the rails on that Snyder wagon. I am very concerned about your mental stability. Like,
no one wants to see the Snyderverse restored more than me, honestly. What in whatever live action depiction, whether it's on Netflix or whatever.
but it's
Um,
it's it's not
but
gonna
it's
happen. We've
not
gone
happening. Like
yeah, no, we've
it's
gone
been a
so
long
far
time already.
in this whole sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. I'm like, come on, guys, you got to understand how these studios and intellectual properties work.
Mhm.
It's just not possible. It
Yeah,
legally speaking, they can't chop up a character like that. What you're asking is, well, no, just his movies. I'm like, yeah, but
it doesn't work that way. It would
it's
have
you're
to be
wanting
like
to King Solomon these characters. You'd have to cut them in half, and
yeah. It would have
it,
to be like a Sony, Marvel, Disney kind of deal where they both get profit shares of both. But I don't see Warner Brothers being that flexible and doing that because they just want it to die. The only way it would possibly happen would be if someone else, Universal or Paramount, whoever ends up acquiring Warner Brothers and just ending it as a one-off, right? Just giving us one film just to shut everyone up and just to make a quick buck, which is an easy way to make a quick buck, actually. But again, the chances of that any of that happening are so slim right now just because of how much time has passed. It might be unfortunately time to move on.
yeah, it's time to go. Like it I how do I put this?
There are bad apples on both sides. Like the Gunverse people are insane.
Exactly. Well,
The
and
radicals.
that's the thing. Like, how can you be so 1000% this
Yeah.
or you're this? Like, it doesn't, the human brain doesn't work that way.
It's
Humans
funny
don't
because
work that way.
the Marvel fans do not have that kind of division within their fandom. But
No,
over here on the
really don't.
side, it's so divided.
Yeah. It's like Star Wars with Star Wars and Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
But that's
it's
understandable though, because that's like
so crazy.
that's very understandable. It's very different.
But we are, we're choosing sides on directors. It just, that feels you don't know this person. You don't know this person.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder or James Gunn could be drinking unicorn blood and
Yeah.
praising Beelzebub on Sunday afternoons. You
We
don't
won't go
know
into their extracurricular hobbies and stuff because there are rumors and little stories out there. So
about
refrain
everybody in
from
Hollywood,
that route.
like
About
about
everyone, yeah.
literally everyone.
Mhm.
Like if you ask my boyfriend, he's like, it's cesspool. They're all devil worshippers.
Is your boyfriend in Hollywood? Does he work in the industry?
Oh
No.
no, no. He just likes conspiracy theories on YouTube.
Okay,
I love.
fair enough.
Sorry, I love and adore him, but sometimes it's like, honey, go outside.
Turn off the
Put
TikTok.
turn off YouTube. You are drowning in this. Just walk away.
Go refresh your brain. Go reboot real quick and come back.
Take your socks and shoes off. Go touch grass. um, but yeah, it's. I love Lynda. I love her to death, and I love how she's, you know, really leading this charge to save Wonder Woman, but I think she's saving the wrong part, wanting to
Exactly.
save the wrong part of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So, um, moving on, we're hearing that the trailer for the Joker Folie à Deux is coming out this coming Tuesday. I got the
Oh
poster
boy.
today. The official poster for Joker Folie à Deux is thus. We've got Lady Gaga and I always hear Zach Galifianakis, um, Lady Gaga and
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Almost called him River, but it's due to come
Okay.
out October 4th. This is our first
And we're
official
already getting
poster.
a trailer? Must
Hmm?
be a teaser. We're already getting a trailer. It has to be a
Yes,
teaser.
we are getting it. It said trailer, so um, it should hit my press kit that morning as soon as it drops. Will I be doped up on pain medication after having my leg cut on to be able to function to post it? I don't know. Maybe I'll say something entirely too telling. I'll tell you where the bodies are buried. But yeah, I'll let you guys know as soon as I'm capable.
My brain has been like so much on X-Men that when I looked at the poster, I just scrolled and saw it on Twitter real quick. I read the top saying as Phoenix Saga.
Oh, I did too. I did too. Anytime it says Phoenix, I'm like, here we go again.
Yeah, and I
Here we
looked at
go
wait,
again.
this is the Joker. And I just
Ah,
say like at this point I just read it as Joker foie gras because it's just
foie gras.
foie gras.
Oh, see, that's another funny thing because my family, my name is Danielle Lemmy Sans Souci. It's the most Frenchest name you've ever heard. We
Oh,
were all
that's so
French. We're
cool.
French. I took French all through school. I speak French.
Oh,
And then I find out a few years ago, you're not French. You should have
wait,
been taking Spanish the whole
where'd that
time.
name come from then?
Because my family thought we were all French.
So
So,
no one inherited the name?
well, no, I have no French DNA left. We had French ancestors in like the 1600s.
Oh, and the name carried on. Hey,
The
that's
name
crazy
carried
how
on.
that works.
But my grandmother's father came off the boat in Ireland and uh they immediately put him back on a boat and sent him down to Mexico for the Mexican American War.
Ah,
And he came back with a wife and her sisters and
I
yeah,
have heard that there were a lot of Irish in
they,
Mexico back in the
it's a,
day. But
apparently it's a big deal in Mexico and they have like a whole day for the Irish Mexicans and
oh,
like my grandfather's like, "Wait a minute, are you telling me you like to drink and these English speaking fellas over here are telling you what to do with your children and where to live?" Well, that sounds awfully familiar. I think I'll stay with you. They had a lot in common. They had a lot in
yeah,
common.
growing up, my grandfather, his first wife is my paternal grandmother.
Mhm.
But she left the family when my dad was still really young, so we don't know anything about her other than the fact that apparently she was Mexican and some kind of European. For a long time, my grandfather, I guess he completely forgot, bless his soul. He's had so many women apparently. That he he thought that she had to be it was like German. So like for a while I thought I had a little smidge of German in me. Then I did the Ancestry on 23andMe, and I actually have a little bit of Irish, and there's no German at all.
Yay!
So then that's how I found out. I was talking to a colleague of mine who was full Mexican, and she was like, "Yeah, there's a lot of Irish people down in Mexico." I'm like, "Oh, I would not know, right? Because I don't know
Yeah,
that part of my family."
they got a lot in common.
But that explains why there's so many redheads in
Mhm.
Mexico. A lot of ginger.
I was really shocked, and we didn't find out until we did our DNA tests and
Yeah,
stuff too. So we were like,
no way to know.
well, this explains a lot. It explains my hair. It explains my eyes, my giant rear ends. My daughter was like, "Yeah, that booty wasn't made in Ireland, Mom.
Oh boy.
Hate to break it to you." Like, cool, 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 cool. So anyway, nerdy stuff.
Back to the
Um,
future. Oh, are we going? We're moving on. All right, let's go.
yeah, well, I was going to. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Joker. We can talk about the Joker some more.
Oh, yeah.
So, what do you feel about this? Like, I know we talked about it's going to have a lot of music,
15 songs, cover songs. Insane.
15 cover songs and some originals.
Mhm.
So they're like, it's a jukebox musical. It's a musical. Okay. It's a musical.
I
If you
think I
have that,
actually tweeted you today. I was like, this is going to be an acid trip, a 2-hour acid trip.
yes,
Just to know it. And
yes.
thanks for putting my handle down there earlier. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's
Oh, yeah.
Julez_91. I talk a lot of crap on Twitter, sports, comics, whatever. But yeah, I think it has to be an acid trip. It better be an acid trip because I'm not here to just watch Lady Gaga sing 15 songs because I know
Right?
it's not going to be singing.
That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned that
Oh, and
they're
that's Julez with
leaning
a Z. Sorry.
yeah, that they're leaning too heavy into having Lady Gaga,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know? And I'm actively telling myself to pronounce that correctly every time. Lady Gaga. Every time I hear about this, I'm concerned that are they just kind of using that as a crutch, you know? Like, oh, well, all those kids went and saw the Taylor Swift movie, so maybe if we have a blonde singing person in our movie, then, we'll get those kiddies as well. Well, we got to make her sing because, she's a singer, so we got to make her sing. But that many times?
I'll give Todd Phillips benefit of the doubt, and I don't think he would. He said he wouldn't come back unless he had a great idea for the sequel. So I would think he has something planned, something in store that is different from what we've seen previously. So I'm
Well,
just
and
going to go out
he came back awful quick. That first one didn't come out all that long ago. Like he came back real fast, bro. Real fast. So I hope it's good. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not really that invested. It's
on.
I don't
They
know.
lost me with the musical. Like I really enjoyed the first one. I like the ending. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see the trailer. Trailer's coming out on the 9th, you said. So
Mhm.
we will see how that looks. And we'll make a decision then. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Yeah, look, there's something about Joaquin Phoenix that just bothers me. I
What do you
can't
mean? Like he makes you uneasy in a good way or a bad way?
mm, ugh, he just bothers me. I don't know. I don't know.
Like you don't like watching him perform?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
not a big fan of his work, like, especially after this dumb movie I watched last year. It's called Beau is Afraid. You wanna watch an acid trip, go watch Beau is Afraid. It's, like, 3 hours long. I still don't know what happened in the movie. Um, I can't even the only thing I can tell you is you see Joaquin Phoenix completely naked, full frontal, flopping in the wind,
Ew.
slapping against thighs,
I don't want to see that.
um, uncomfortable. It was just a dumb, weird movie, and I feel concerned about anyone who's like, "Oh my god, you've got to see Beau is Afraid. That is, like, amazing movie." What drugs are you on? Because I really think you have to be on hard drugs to understand this movie. It made 0 sense to me.
It's like an experimental film.
Yeah, but me,
So,
an intellectual, is like, "I'm gonna watch Lego Batman for the 6th time."
hey,
Because
sometimes you're better off. I can watch the Super Mario movie like a million times. Love it.
yes, absolutely. I will look, those are 2 movies, Lego Batman, absolutely, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. If they are on, I will not watch them.
Yeah, glued to the
Like, I
TV.
will like, "Oh, this is on. I'll watch it."
I don't even watch like animated those. I don't even call them animated. They're like the 3D animated films, right? They're like you're just a little childish or whatever. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I like more mature content, but I had to watch Super Mario Brothers. My sister, who watches these cartoon movies all the time, she loves them, which is weird because growing up, like we completely like switch spots in that regard. And I'm like, I was at her house and it was like, oh, the Smart movie's on. And she's like, oh, I just don't like it. I'm like, what? You love Peach. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how do you not? You like all those super movies, but you don't like Super Mario? Like, how does that not
That's
tug at your
so weird.
heartstrings?
That's
It's
so
so
weird.
strange. She's like,
Look,
oh,
I love Lego Batman so much that my daughter did a lip dub at school, like they do
oh,
one every
yeah.
year,
Okay.
and it's it's where I went to school too. And I'm watching it, I'm like, "Okay," and I'm watching it for her. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, then all of a sudden they get to the TV class, which is where I first studied production.
Hmm.
They get to the TV class, and the TV class is doing Lego Batman. And I was like, da 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 da.
I might have.
Batman.
I have not seen Lego Batman, but I've heard so much good stuff
Oh
about it.
my god, you have to watch it. It's really it's cinema. Okay.
It's
It's
cinema.
cinema. And Will Arnett is my Batman now. He just is. Who pays their taxes on time? Not Batman. Like
I don't either. I'm right there with you, Batman.
me either. I haven't filed nothing.
Me
But then again,
either.
I'm retired too. So
I'm
whatever.
an appointment.
Hey Glickman. Oh, it's one of the best Batman movies of all time. Absolutely,
That's what I keep hearing.
absolutely.
I need to watch it.
Hard agree. Need to see, you've got all these people talking about how wonderful Lego Batman is. Let's see. I want to watch Beau is Afraid. I'm telling you, that movie, you'll hate me after you watch it.
I
You will
knew
hate
Joaquin
me.
Phoenix was a weirdo. Oh, and the first movie I ever saw him in was in Signs, and he was always just come off as like something's
Well,
wrong with that guy.
you know, he and his siblings were raised in a cult.
Oh, okay.
So his brother was River Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
River Phoenix passed away early on in the
Tragedy. Yeah, I
90s.
know.
But yeah, their whole family's kind of out there. They were raised in a cult. I think it was the Children of God cult, which is really twisted. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
Oh, that
But
makes a lot of sense. That really does put a lot of the puzzle together. But he is a phenomenal actor. Like he's good in
he
everything he
is.
does.
He's a very good
Very
actor,
talented.
but I just it's like I watched Napoleon and it just shows him banging ladies over desks entirely too much.
It's not
And
even.
I'm like,
I was excited for it, but I'm like, I heard that it's not like historically accurate, like at all. And plus, he's way too old and tall for the role, so it was just like,
yeah. And then especially after watching Beau is Afraid and having to see the slapping, I just
ugh.
can't do it anymore.
I don't
Sorry.
want to see him bisexual. Like he's not.
No.
It's not that type. Sorry.
Ugh, ugh.
No,
I can't handle it. It's too much. All
no,
right.
not
I have
sexy.
fulfilled my Joaquin Phoenix quota for this decade. Um, here is something super cool. And
Mhm.
I confirm this with Gail herself. Zack Snyder has gotten Gail Simon to pen the spinoff for Nemesis. The chick with the vibro blades, the molten blades in
Oh, cool.
Rebel Moon.
Mhm.
She's writing a spinoff for her.
Oh,
Snyder's not writing it. Gail Simon is. And Gail Simon's awesome. She's been a comic book writer for a long time and she's one of the best out there. She's done a lot of writing for Wonder Woman and in X-Men. She's written like everything.
yeah. When
She
you hear Gail Simone, the first person that pops into your mind is probably Wonder Woman. Like she's the quintessential Wonder Woman writer of our generation.
she's amazing and I always say her name wrong because that's what I do.
Oh, we were saying Simon.
Yeah.
I,
But
I I don't know. I'm assuming it's Simone. I don't know. I could be saying it wrong.
I've never actually heard it out loud. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's the problem with reading, right? I thought Thanos' name was Thanos for a long time. Apparently,
that's the problem with reading.
that's the problem with reading. We don't know.
So you just keep saying it your way. I'll keep saying it that my way, and one of us will be right.
So he wants her to pen the film, not a comic book.
That's all I know. All I know, it's a spin-off. So if it's a spin-off
Because I
of
know with
the
Rebel Moon,
film,
they're doing a
I
bunch of different mediums.
they
So
didn't say comic book. They just said
oh,
spin-off. And when I asked her if this was true, she said yes.
is she gonna do it?
She's doing it.
Okay, good.
She's straight up doing it. So, and she really, really loves listen, this is one of the things that Syl and I don't agree on. I didn't think Rebel Moon was that great. I
Okay.
was like, okay. There were, it just,
It needed to be fleshed out.
yes,
I liked it. I really
yes.
liked it, but it needed to be fleshed out. I'm gonna wait for like what that 4 hour cut that's coming, and we'll
Yeah,
see what
I'm team you on this. Like, I feel like there was a lot left out.
yeah, a lot happened, and it was just like
A lot happened really fast.
yeah, it happened really fast, and it was just a lot of characters, and the act, everything was great. Like the story kind of made sense. There
Mhm.
was a great performance, all around, but yeah, like there just needed to be some more subplot, some more
Yes.
B
Like,
roll for
why are
it.
they're so angry? What are they angry about? Like,
Yeah,
I don't have the full story here.
yeah,
But it reeks of potential.
it does.
Like, lots of
I just
potential.
hope the 4 hour cut gives it what we needed to give.
And we're getting that in like a week, right?
I think it's at the end of the month, isn't it?
Because isn't part 2 coming out this month?
Oh, time to Google.
To the Google box.
Not
To
part.
the
Is it part
Google
two coming
box.
out?
I thought it was coming out this month. Oh my God, I'm starving. Anyone else hungry?
I mean, I could have a snack. Let's order some DoorDash.
I had sushi this afternoon, and let me tell you something. I had been waiting so it's my favorite place, and they've been closed. They close down for like 2 months every year to go home and visit
Oh,
in
okay.
Japan.
At least know they're legit.
And I live in the middle of you don't know it even exists, Missouri, and how these wonderful Japanese people have found our area and parked their little sushi truck less than a mile from my house. It really feels like divine destiny. Like
Yeah.
the Lord put that there for me, just me, only me. But they shut down every 2 months and then they go to Japan. And finally, I'm like, I can afford sushi. I want to get some sushi. And finally, they were open today. And I was like, yes, guys are the best. Okay, what'd you find out?
So, part two is coming out on April 12th. So you're right, it's coming out in like a week
Next
or
week.
two. But I can't find when the extended cut is coming out.
Well, um, too bad Syl didn't show up in the chat. He could have filled us right in.
He would have known.
We'll give him crap about that later.
How dare you, Phil?
But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing more, and I want it to grab me. This is one of those situations where I want to like it. I want to really enjoy it because I do like Snyder's work.
Yeah,
I'm
me
not a
too. I love
crazy Snyder bro. I'm not a what do they call the Gunn people? Are they calling them Gunts?
Oh my God. I don't know. I try to ignore them as much as I can because I just can't.
I'm neither one of those things, but I do enjoy both of their works because I don't compare apples to oranges.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
I think Snyder might be my favorite director, honestly, just from a stylistic perspective. Am I saying
Mhm,
that obviously his writing, he's not a writer, he's a visionary. That's what he does. He makes things look cool.
mhm.
And I love that as a visual person myself, as an artist, I love his work. So I think people give him too much flack. It's not really deserved.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
yeah.
like I'm a writer. Um
Wait, now I'm seeing April 19. I don't know what someone needs to give me some real information here.
well, now I have to Google
Yeah, part two will
the
release on Netflix
Scar
April
Giver. I'm
19.
just going to type in info. Okay,
Mhm.
so I'm on IMDb and I've logged into my pro account. So I probably well see that's weird. I don't get Netflix stuff in my press kits. I don't know why. It must be through different studios.
Yeah, I just saw it
The
on Games Radar saying April
um
19.
but I do have IMDb Pro. And this is saying April 19th for the Scar Giver. Um I
So
had
I
heard
watched the 6 hour cut before I watched the sequel.
I thought we were going to get the 4 6 hour cut or whatever
Whatever
in
on a
March. I thought we were going to get it in March. Um so that's a really good question. If anyone can find out any information about that, please let us know. Um yes, I really I wanted to see the injustice that he was definitely leading towards. Like his
Oh yeah.
after credit scene was injustice, and I
We
would have
lost a great story with the
yeah,
cancellation
we
of
did.
the universe. It was a tragedy that I think we're obviously still feeling it now, and I don't think we'll ever recover from this. It's just time to heal
Oh,
all
it's
wounds.
been a crazy time for nerds. Like this era. It's been a really crazy time because we were made mainstream
Yeah.
and we're being pushed out of that.
Uh, you know,
Because, it doesn't it's
so
so
many
weird.
reasons for that.
It's so
Studio
weird.
meddling. The studio became greedy, right? They saw these films making so much money, and they're like, let's amplify this to make more and more money, and then they dumped it
Mhm.
down to make more money, and then
Oh,
there's
it's that same old story where you have the studio executives meddling it with the creatives. You
Mhm,
hired them to be creative.
right.
So let them do their job.
I'm so tired of all these comic book movies not having comic book people. Like, they need to make a committee with people from the source material that understand these characters, help
Yeah.
make the
You need a
story.
historian.
Yeah, you
You
do.
need a continuity
Mhm.
historian, a canon historian. My
Yeah,
boyfriend used to tell me, "You should go work for Marvel and be their historian." I'm like, "No, I will
you don't wanna
never.
work for Disney. And
No.
they're
Hell
so
no."
they're so egotistical and narcissistic that they won't even, like, they'll
They
scoff at
won't
the
listen.
idea.
They wouldn't listen. I'm
Yeah,
nobody.
no.
They don't care. Like, She-Hulk, on we heard so many horror stories that the writers were not even they weren't permitted to read a She-Hulk comic book.
I feel like that's most of Marvel's productions.
Yeah, like Anthony Mackie, I don't know who the you were talking to or about, but it certainly wasn't Disney's Marvel
Every
because
time Anthony Mackie opens his mouth, I feel like he's just sticking his foot in it. Like, every
no
time
joke.
I
Like,
see a quote from him, I'm just like, "Bro, shut the f
shh,
up."
you're pretty, stay that way.
Yeah,
Just be a pretty thing. It's okay.
yeah,
There's a lot of chicks who are just pretty things, and they serve their purpose as well.
right. Not everyone has to give their opinion, like, no.
Right. And that goes back to what I was saying about me never really inserting my political opinion because
Yeah,
I'm here to talk about nerd stuff and nerd
mhm.
news. Nobody cares about my political opinion or logs on to hear about it. I feel the same way about actors and stuff. Like, I just want to see you act. I want to see you play pretend.
Mhm.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't need to
Fair.
know that other stuff because then that colors my opinion of you and that takes me out of whatever story you're portraying.
Yeah, like, God forbid, Henry Cavill comes out and says some outlandish crap, and then I have to completely look at him different. Like, no, I don't wanna look at you different. You're a beautiful man. Let me just
Ugh, he
look
looks
at
like my
you as
brother. It's so gross.
he looks like your brother?
Yeah.
Your brother looks like Henry Cavill. Come on,
Yeah,
let's
a
be
little
real.
bit, yeah.
Show us a picture.
Teeth and all. Oh, come on, don't make
Teeth and
me.
all.
Oh, ugh. Yeah, like when he smiles, he has those kinda little fang teeth that Henry Cavill
Oh,
has.
yeah, yeah.
He does. He really reminds me of Henry Cavill. And my boyfriend was like, "You're crazy." "No, he doesn't. You just think that." And I showed my grandma. She's like, "Oh, that does kinda look like Brett." Like, "Mhm. It's gross."
No wonder he's out just chasing tail.
He's dumb. Okay? He's just dumb. I love him, but he's dumb.
Chasing all the tail.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Rebel Moon extended cut is this June. Nick,
June.
you are a scholar and a gentleman. Thank
Yes,
you so
you
much.
won the night.
Tabitha, can I tell you guys something? I got a phone call from this lovely woman today, and she had me like sobbing in the car, like I'm on the way to my mom's, also trying to stop at the bank or get my son to deposit money in my bank account for me. And then the bank's like, your account doesn't exist. And my son gives them the wrong name. Like my son doesn't even know my name. Anyway, this absolutely wonderful, warm, kind woman called me to say the most amazing things to me and just absolutely made my lifetime. So she's awesome. Everyone should go subscribe to her channel. Everyone needs a little Tabitha in their life. She is an absolute ray of sunshine and warmth and joy. And you just need to check out her channel. Dreaming Tabitha on YouTube. She paints. We did a Bob Ross thing once. It was fun.
Oh,
But
cool.
I
That
have
sounds
a really
cathartic.
it is. She does these shows where she has people on and they paint together. So she did a Bob Ross inspired painting, landscape painting, and I did it on my eye makeup. Like I did all Bob Ross landscape on my eyes.
Oh, man.
And it was one of my favorite streams we did. But she's awesome. She really is. She's one of my favorite people, and she's a good role model. Like she's a good influence on me.
Shout out to Tabitha. Check out her channel.
Definitely. She's the absolute best. But it is that time, folks. I have to pee. And you know what that means. It means we have to wrap up the stream. We have to say our goodbyes.
Well,
But
thanks for having me on, Dani. And
thanks for coming. And I
yeah,
hope you come back when
definitely. And I hope your surgery goes well. I'll be missing the stream on Thursday with you and Sil, but I'm sure you guys will do great. So see you when you get back.
yes, I'll be back. And like I said, it's definitely going to be at least a week but I can't say if it's going to be 2 or 3 because I don't know if I'll feel, you know what, this feels great. I think I can wheel up to my desk and do some typing.
Mhm.
But also I could be like, you know what? I'm hurting and they've got me on all these meds and I'm pretty sure I have snot hanging out of my nose. So don't feel like being on camera, but I will miss everybody. I get really bored. I have nothing else to do with my time but clean up after my family and bake bread. So
We'll catch you on Twitter
I
in the
will catch
meantime.
all of you on Twitter. Again, thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Thank you, Julez. I am so grateful to have you in my life now. Um,
I'm so grateful to have met you. Gotta send
yay, me
Sil
too.
some cookies or something.
Yeah, we'll send him an edible arrangement.
Or just give him some of your bread.
Yeah, I will. I'll have to do that. I bake a lot. Um, it's crazy, but make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out the door, smash the subscribe so we can, make that sacrifice to our algorithm overlords, and make sure your bell is rung so you get notified whenever I'm back with more nerdy content. Until then, nerds, I've been Dani. You've been awesome. And hey, make sure you check under your beds tonight because
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you.